Libertarians podcast, episode 287. I'm here tonight with Jared Schneiderman,
Hey guys.
Alexis Schlegel,
What's up, everybody?
Crystal Woodworth,
How's it going?
and the great Joshua Dial. Hey,
That's
Josh.
Joshua, fuck the feds dial.
Yes.
Hell yeah,
Oh,
dude.
dude,
I
I was
get
gonna get to that, dude, because
Yeah,
it's like, like as
Yeah,
libertarians,
I want to try to get my name changed, but I don't think the government will let me. Surprise, surprise. But and
Yes.
all the dispensaries I go to, they actually have my name in the system as Joshua, fuck the feds dial. So.
Nice. Still on the mailing list.
Great.
yeah, man.
Amazing.
So I was gonna say it's not often as like libertarians as like we get to just like watch something on television and like pop culture, and then we get to see one of us on the big screen,
Yeah.
and that was just something I think really special for everybody. When you said that, it was just like fuck yeah.
Well, and not only did it resonate with, of course, all libertarians, but I think it resonated with everybody. I mean, pardon me, this stuff is strong.
You're good,
Not
dude.
the Rona.
He's got the road. He's got that. He's holding up the.
These are amazing pre-rolls.
Yeah.
I have a partnership with the guy that sells these, so like they're free to me. And they're like, as you can see, the THC is wild, 48%.
Hell yeah,
So
man.
those pre-rolls, if you're in Oklahoma, buy them.
Wow.
Guys, I'm sorry. I had to explain why I'm coughing so bad. I'm not a pussy. It's just this. Is
It's all good, dude.
It's all good, man. I cough on like one hit off a bowl, so you're good.
Dude, if you ain't choking, you ain't token.
Right. Exactly.
That's what Kyle Wagner always says, at least.
So sorry, getting back to what we were talking about. I'm sorry. I just had to plug it. Like there is no better weed in Oklahoma than these dose pre-rolls. So I just had to plug them.
Go ahead, man. Yeah. So yeah, you were saying how you felt like more people than just libertarians were kind of turned on by that message.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look at it. The fucking government has, that has forced small businesses and even big business corporations to close. They have forced the citizens to, in many cases, with mandatory curfews, travel restrictions, mandatory quarantines if you travel to a certain place. And, we are a diverse country. We're libertarians, we're Green Party, we're independents, we're Republicans, we're Democrats. But at the end of the day, I would like to believe the best in the American people. And I think that if that fire of liberty is lit in them, that it'll draw them into it. And I think that's why Fuck the Feds resonates with everybody. I mean, I have thousands and thousands and thousands of followers. And I mean, I have Trump supporters saying fuck the feds. I've got Biden supporters saying fuck the feds. Of course, all my
Really,
libertarian
though?
brothers.
Yeah, really. Is it
Every-
Really?
the Fed?
Biden? Yeah.
Biden supporters, Democrats, even Bernie supporters. I mean, it's a broad appeal because I mean, fuck the feds. They fucking tanked our economy. Because they don't think we're responsible enough to handle a pandemic.
Sure.
I was talking to a dispensary owner that I like to go to. They're actually, I'm very libertarian as far in capitalist and as far as the way I spend my money. For instance, I won't eat at Chick-fil-A because they're first of all, I'm an atheist and they're Christians, so I don't give my money to Christians who's openly support anti-gay policies and anti women's rights policies. And like I do the same thing but opposite with the dispensary here in town, and it's owned by gay men, two gay men. And I mean, I just think that I just think that that's something that we should really get into. Look at these businesses that are support. I mean, that's the ultimate thing that you can do. That's the most American thing you can do. Don't spend your money with them if you don't support them.
Yeah, man. Freedom of association, dude.
Yeah, and I think that's a core libertarian principle.
Yeah, I think
Yes,
you're
yeah.
absolutely right, man. It's
Vote with your dollars.
so
Absolutely.
so like I actually heard a rumor as of recently, and I don't know if this is true or not. I just wanted to ask you about it. Somebody told me that you were on an interview and you said that for a while, like you were like you kind of strayed from libertarianism and you were following the Democratic primary. Like, is that? And now it looks like you maybe came back around, like you've been reinvigorated. Do you have
For
any
one
like
month.
comment on that?
1 month. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I fell into the trap, and I'm not ashamed of it because all libertarians have conflicts, at one point in their liberty career. And I fell into the trap, and I want to talk to folks right now who are afraid of what I was afraid of. Here's what caused me to register as a Democrat for 1 month. By the way, I am once again a libertarian, and I'm very proud to say that my fiance and future husband here is now also a libertarian and a dues paying member as well to the Libertarian National Committee.
Yeah.
And I felt that I had an obligation as a gay man to vote Democrat because what if Ruth Bader Ginsburg dies, Trump gets a second term, and my right to get married to my fiance is suddenly taken away. And that's not an argument. That's not a logical argument. And it's not going to happen. I mean, historically, once rights have been given to folks, they're not taken away. So I know a lot of people are fearful about and make no mistake, Trump has pretty good chance of winning re-election. Of course, I think that our ticket, Joe Jorgensen and Spike Cohen, I think we're going to do great. I think we're going to do real great. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I really don't know where this election's going to go. I don't think anybody really does. I think it's just so up in the air. But like I said before, the fuck the feds thing, it resonates with a lot of people. And I've had so many people come to my page and they'll just message me, say, hey, what is libertarianism? And I just tell them, I say, don't hurt people and don't take their stuff. As long as you can agree on those two basic principles, there's usually there's going to be a niche in our party for you. We've got anarchists, we've got minarchists, we've got voluntarists. We've got such a large group, such a big tent in our party. There's room for folks. We just have to agree on our basic principles and our non-aggression principle. And
so where do you put yourself on that paradigm? Are you a minarchist, anarchist, somewhere in between?
Well, I mean, all libertarians will associate with this, but I started as a minarchist because I did come originally from the Democratic Party. I still, every day that passes and I see another liberty taken from us, every paycheck that I get and I see extra tax dollars taken out of, every year in February when I get a tax bill from the federal government or receive a pittance of a refund, if I get a refund at all, every year that goes by, it pushes me more and more from the minarchist side and the pragmatist side completely over the radical side. I mean, I got into politics at a very young age. I'm 31, and I believe I was 11 or 12 when 9/11 happened. And from anyone that's my age, they can relate to how traumatic, how life-changing that was. And even back then, libertarians were saying, "Hey, we're losing our fucking rights." And I mean, they said, "Oh, well, we don't have any rights as it is." Then 9/11 coming along, we realized, oh, well, we did have some rights, but maybe we don't have them anymore. So anyways, from the age of 12 years old, when September 11th happened, I was enamored with politics. I saw from an early age our liberties eroding day by day, legislation by legislation. And I'm 31 now, started doing this when I was 12. I have never missed a day where I have not watched the news for at least 2-3 hours, different channels, of course, to get different point of views, read, at least 10-12 articles, and engage. I've been in this liberty fight for a long time. I may not have been a libertarian all my life, But I have been against this against police brutality. I've been for less government, lower taxes. No taxes is my preference, of course. But though I say I am a radical, I do feel like I have a place where I can kind of bring folks who are in the duopoly and kind of explain to them as a former Democrat why maybe our party is the better option, the Libertarian Party, because we already have their hearts as far as the gay marriage. We are the original supporters of gay marriage of the Libertarian Party, the original OG. And
Yeah,
so we speak to Democrats' hearts. And when I say hearts, the gay rights, women's rights, we've been behind that way before anyone else. But what we got to speak to is their logic. We have to ask them, do you think, what I use all the time in my campaigning here in Oklahoma when I do campaigns is it fair that I own land, I pay to dig a hole in my backyard, I pay to put water in it, I pay to put fish in it, and you, if you live next door to me as my neighbor, would have to go to the government and get a fishing permit to come next door to your neighbor's house, my house, and fish in my pond. And when you bring it down to a local level like that, because obviously, people aren't big fishers in other states, but this is Oklahoma where I live. Fishing is life here. When you make it
that
personal,
seems like a very Oklahoman analogy there.
Yeah,
it's good.
And just bring it to any state. For instance, New York, you have to get a stargazing permit. I'm an amateur astronomer.
Is that for real?
Yeah.
It's true. It was an article.
Look up at the sky.
Yeah, if you take a telescope out to a public park, they were passing some asinine bill where you need to get a license to go
Holy
fucking
shit.
Look at the stars.
That's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, the fucking it's a true story. I'll get in the docs on that.
Yeah. So I mean, there's every state, like I said, my state's fishing or hunting. New York's is going to be maybe stargazing, and New York's got so many fucking restrictions. You could have a whole litany of comparisons. But I think if we just localize it and stop, we need to get these local races. For instance, here in Oklahoma, our gubernatorial nominee who eventually won over Joe is Chris Powell. He went on to win a city council seat in Bethany, Oklahoma. Our state chair here of the Libertarian Party of Oklahoma, Chad Williams, he won himself a seat on city council. So, and it's because they spoke to the local issues. When you bring up these national hot button issues that's going to immediately evoke people's emotions, I feel that it turns them off the message. But if you bring it locally, bring it down locally, and play all politics is local. Everyone knows that, who knows anything about politics. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we as a Libertarian Party, if we can just, if you're a candidate, go to a diner, sit there for a week, go there every morning for breakfast, have coffee with the elderly folks, have dinner with the young folks, and just talk to them. See get a feel for the folks. Get a feel for what they think. What do they feel is unfair? And I think if we as libertarians would take that approach instead of trying to die on hills like what constitutes pedophilia, and which of course, don't get me wrong, there is an argument to be made for age of consent, but no.
Arvin, get out of here, Arvin.
Hero. Yeah. So I will say that but I mean, there's a conversation to be had. But this pedo shit, needs to stop. I will say that.
Agreed.
Sorry, I got on a soapbox. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine, man.
I hope I'm not ruining the y'all show. I'm just
speaking of local politics,
I got done bawling because I watched. Yeah, go ahead.
No, speaking of local politics, how did the Oklahoma Libertarian Party scene change after Joe Exotic entered the Libertarian scene? Did you see more people come in? Did fundraising change?
We sure did. From my numbers and what I was able to crunch together from my database that I compiled and the letters I sent out in comparison, I was able to register about 600 libertarians.
Nice.
There were only 3,000 libertarians in total in Oklahoma when we started.
Wow.
So that's really what I excel at. I mean, I did some crazy shit to get people registered. I went to y'all are familiar with doomsday preppers, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
Preppers, you know, preparing for the end of the world, which, by the way, I advocate for. I wish I had the money to do it, especially with the end of the fucking world going on right now. But I actually talked Joe into dispatching me to a preppers convention. And, you know, these people are so afraid of the government, they don't even bring their IDs, more or less going to sign their name to sign up to vote. But I went nonetheless, you know, and I may not have got anyone to register to vote, but I learned a valuable lesson in campaigning and running a table. Always bring, and this is going to sound misogynistic, but it's just the fucking truth. Bring have one male, good looking male, so the females will approach. A good looking female, mainly with big tits, so the men will approach. And this is most important. Get a glass candy bowl, and for God's sake, do not go to the Dollar Tree or the dollar store. Don't be cheap. Go to
Buy
Walmart.
the good candy. Buy the good candy.
Exactly. Get the Snickers.
Yeah, don't buy that generic shit. Buy the good stuff.
Exactly. Because that's what
you can't have some half-ass snacks.
Yeah. So that's the biggest lesson I learned for going to a preppers convention, other than the fact that it was a lost cause. I knew it was a lost cause, but I mean, come on, who can say in the campaign world they went to a doomsday prepper convention in an attempt to sign people up to register to vote? When these people are off the grid, you know, they don't even have addresses.
Yeah, where do they go for a convention, dude?
Right.
Someone's hole in the ground? Some nuclear bunker somewhere?
Silo bunkers, you hear about
hole in the ground.
they repurpose.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Dude, it sounds like Oklahoma's pretty lit. So would you say like Oklahoma should maybe start something like in New Hampshire, like a free state project, but maybe Oklahoma is the place to be. Would you say that, Josh?
Well, I got to say, I really I've had a lot of folks approach me with offers of moving out of state and taking campaign jobs and various other jobs. But we passed medical marijuana in 2018. There are no qualifying conditions, meaning you can go to the doctor, pay the doctor. I paid $50 to see the doctor. They don't have to see any medical records. I actually told them the truth, but you don't have to. You don't have to have any condition. But I told them I have PTSD, depression, and anxiety. It was a 10-minute deal. Wrote me my recommendation. I can have 6 ounces of weed in my house, 3 ounces in my possession. Nice. So much concentrates that I don't even know. It's like ounces of concentrates. Wow. There's no limits on THC. Our legislature recently passed a law, even though federally, it is illegal to have a gun. The state legislature here in Oklahoma passed a law that medical marijuana card holders cannot have their guns taken away by the state. Oh my gosh, stop.
You have Matt Bergman so erect right now.
Do what?
Maryland wouldn't pass it.
Maryland is the worst state. And that's the thing, Josh. It sounds like Oklahoma compared to we're all in Maryland, and it just sounds like Oklahoma is like heaven. Like,
I mean,
that sounds like. I mean, yeah.
It's getting better, but I mean, make no mistake, it's Trump land. Okay, they voted like 82 to 82% to vote for Trump. But I like it. I like being the gay atheist libertarian in the sea of right-wing fanatics.
Because what is that like for you? Like, do you get mistreated at all, or do you just get weird looks, or what?
No, not at all. I mean, as you can tell, like, I don't look gay. Besides my shout out to outright Libertarians. For I bought that flag at NOLA at the convention.
Nice.
Yeah,
great flag.
And but you know, besides that, I mean, most people wouldn't be able to tell I'm gay. I mean, I don't think I look gay, do I? I mean,
Not particularly.
not really.
I don't know, Matt. You've got the gaydar.
Well, did Joe Exotic think that he looked gay enough?
Yeah.
Pull any moves.
Yeah, Josh, did Joe try to diddle you?
No, see, the problem was I went to work for Joe when I was 28 years old, and that made me about 15 years too old for him.
Oh, no. Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was gonna ask Josh, like, who came first, Joe Exotic or Libertarianism for you? Like,
Oh, libertarianism came first for me. I've actually been, you know, I haven't been a member, but I have been involved in the libertarian circles since 2008. I was introduced in 2008 to libertarianism by a roommate in college. And of course, I was a Democrat then, but I mean, he had started working on me already then. And then when I found out that the state had finally obtained ballot access and we were in a recognized party in the state, that's when I was all aboard. And then I didn't go to Joe looking for the job. I lived 7 miles away from Joe's zoo for about 25 years of my life, and something just got into me, and I went to the zoo. And he met me up front. He said, "Hey, Josh," because we talked in public all the time about politics, and he liked my views. He recognized that I'm a pretty, not to toot my own horn, and I hate to say this, but you know, I'm decently smart guy. And so he liked me. You know, he liked my views. And so I just walked up to the zoo just to go check it out because, you know, hell, I lived there for 25 years, never seen him. And he met me at the door and he said, "Josh, I'm running for governor of Oklahoma, and I would like you to be my campaign manager." And I said, "Well, what party are you running under?" And he said, "Libertarian." And, you know, the first thing that goes through my head is, you know, this is going to be a nightmare. I know that Joe has no idea what a libertarian is. And
oh, no.
but and this, you know, and this is the truth. And, you know, maybe people are going to call bullshit on me, but, you know, fuck them. This is the truth. And you can ask people like good friends like Aaron Adams, Jess Mears, Chrissy Witchers. They all know the story. Rex Lawhorn, who ran for governor, Chris Powell. I had the choice of, you know, turning down the job and going making good money and maybe running a different campaign. But had I said no, he would have hired some Trump right-wing, you know, ultra fascist Trump bootlicker to run his campaign. And he would have been a libertarian, and it would have completely destroyed the liberty message for Oklahoma. So I made the decision that the best thing for the Oklahoma Libertarian Party would be to have an actual libertarian run the campaign. And that is actually why I stayed on as his campaign manager. I know that sounds crazy.
No, I think you did really well.
Yeah, that sounds awesome, man.
But I mean,
it's pretty noble, actually.
I mean,
yeah, I did not care to watch the show at all, and people were talking about this libertarian on there. I'm like, I doubt it, but whatever. And then I kept seeing the memes, so I watched it, and I couldn't believe how you did. I thought you did the best you could have done. It was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So did he hold any libertarian ideas at all? Like anything you had maybe talked with him, but prior to that had sort of embedded itself? No,
he advocated for raising gross production tax on oil. Hold on, what is it, baby? Sorry, the husband's calling.
That's all right.
Y'all want to meet my husband or fiance?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
This is Jackie. Get closer so they can see you. He's dressed comfortably. Never mind. He's shy. What is it, baby?
We saw him.
What is it, baby? Okay. That's all right. I'm on a podcast, son. Sorry, guys.
That's all right, man. That's all good.
I'm sorry. Where were we at? I'm so sorry.
No, you were just saying that he didn't hold any real libertarian ideals.
Yeah. He wanted to raise the gross production tax on oil in order to pay for like fund government. He wanted to run the state like a business, which sounds great to like maybe if you're an independent or a Republican, but we don't run anything. We're libertarians, you know.
Well, we don't. Yeah, we certainly don't run people. Yeah.
You know, and as a matter of fact, I may have an exclusive here for you. I might just so happen to have my campaign folder that has what he is for and against. So I'd like me to read it out to you. I'd be more than happy, but I mean, it's lengthy and I'm sure y'all have a lot of questions.
Actually, could you just send it to us? Maybe we could like post it up somewhere or no?
Well, the only like, and it's going to sound totally greedy, but I just don't want to do that because I'm the only person in possession of this.
Oh, damn.
Give us a few of the things on there.
Yeah, I'll just go through here.
Just skim the highlights.
Yeah, the highlights.
Oh my God.
Raising taxes to increase teacher pay. Let's see, raising taxes to support rural fire and EMS. Raising gross production tax.
Wait, you were his campaign manager. How'd you let him get away with all that?
Well, I'm not. These are just the bad ones. Here's some of the stuff.
All right.
Oh, wait, there's worse.
Is the good ones like end the Fed?
Like I would give him amazing campaign points, right?
Yeah.
And he would Joe Exotic them.
Yeah.
You know. So some of the things I put in there, and of course he made it into his own. I made it much more eloquent. Was getting politics out of school. Legalizing marijuana, reforming Department of Human Services and the SNAP program, auditing government agencies, lifting regulations. This was one that he actually lifted for me completely. That I guess he liked it enough. Life, liberty, and the right to own private property. Vote yes on state question 788, which he let me put in there, which was the legalization of marijuana. That's what he let me slip in. And then on the back, he's got things he's against. So he's got things like bullying. How are you going? How's a libertarian going to argue? Like, what are you going to do? Like, arrest someone for calling you a bitch? He's got he's got cyber stalking in here. So I guess he wanted to create a whole new branch of the police department of the state police department that's specifically focused on policing the internet for cyber stalkers and cyberbullies. With a raise in taxes. Let me just go through a few of these quickly. Higher taxes. I don't know. Let's see. These are the things we must fight against. There's the one thing of the things we must fight against. Let me put in there. Permits for you to exercise your constitutional rights, which is basically my, fish in a pond thing that I did, and he just kind of dumbed it down.
Yeah.
But
how does he feel about intellectual property?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
How does
what's
Joe
his
feel
position?
about intellectual property?
In what manner?
Well, he just had so the news just came out today that the zoo just got given to Carol Baskins.
Oh yeah.
How'd that
basically because of her suing him.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm so sorry. I got lost there for a second. Because I had like a bombshell to drop. You guys are gonna hear it for the first time here. But I will address you first, ma'am. So the intellectual property thing, like everyone knows the story, right? What Joe did was Carol Baskin, her reserve is called Big Cat Rescue. What Joe did is he called his live show Big Cat Rescue. Right. So that's infringement. She sued him for a judgment of $1 million. Now, ever since that $1 million judgment's been made, he's been funneling money through all kinds of people. And the judge did find yesterday that he has been indeed funneling money and therefore awarded Carol Baskin the land and ordered Jeff Lowe to vacate the park within 120 days, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Now, here's the bombshell I'm going to drop. Guess who I talked to today?
Joe?
Carol Baskin.
I talked to Carol Baskin, and I talked to Carol Baskin today. Look, the people may hate me for what I'm about to say, but look, I think people know me to be a fair person. You know, I don't believe, you know, here's the thing. No, this is America, and justice is not carried out by mob rule, and especially not because a Netflix documentary incited a mob rule. If she killed her husband, the police are investigating and they will find out. I think and it's very unpopular, and I'll probably lose a ton of supporters for saying this, but it's the truth. What if she didn't kill her husband? What kind of damage are we doing? Not we, but what are the Free Joe Exotic? What are these anti-Carol Baskin people doing to this woman if she genuinely, like, literally lost her husband and did not kill her? And there's millions of people just daily accusing her of killing her husband and threatening her. And so I called her and I told her, first of all, congratulations on winning that judgment. You know, just to be political. I believe in reaching across the aisle, not only politically, but also within all communities. You know, I don't know, maybe that's a bad thing. Maybe not. I mean, we didn't make no deals, certainly, and I didn't make no commitments. But I did tell her that, you know, I do think it's unfair the way she was portrayed, because Joe is no angel. Joe was portrayed as a folk hero, and he is like the opposite of that. He is a monster. Joe Exotic is a monster. And Carol Baskin is less of a monster than Joe Exotic is. Like, all these rumors about photos of bestiality about Joe and his husbands, they exist.
Mm.
And all these people are idolizing Joe Exotic and getting tattoos of him on their ass cheeks and shit. You know?
I mean, I don't know, man. But after I got done watching that documentary, I thought pretty much you were the only redeemable character on the show, and maybe like one of his employees.
I mean, I just told the truth.
Yeah,
he did some great things, and he also, but mostly he did terrible things, awful things, god awful things, stuff that I don't even feel comfortable saying. You know, checking out boys that were under the age of 18. That's all I will say. I won't go further than that because I don't want to get death threats unless y'all want to crowdfund me an AR, which I would be happy to accept because I do not have a weapon. Shout out.
Announcing that. Didn't you learn anything at that convention?
Yeah, you went to a prepper convention, dude. You didn't walk out of there with 3 ARs?
Right?
I may need
You didn't have premium Boogaloo gear?
Yeah. Sorry, I kind of lost track. I got talking about guns. I'm a
You called Carol Baskins, and what else did you talk about? You congratulated her on the...
You know, I mean, I just think it's fair. You know, like I said before, I'm the type of libertarian that if I can work with a Democrat or a Republican to get a libertarian or liberty type bill passed, I'm not afraid to do it. That doesn't mean I have to compromise my principles as a libertarian, but I recognize that we have to work with people in order to at least get our foot in the door and educate people about who we are. And there are things that we can do, and we can swallow our pride and maybe work with the Republicans like we in Oklahoma did to get this law, like I talked about before, where me as a medical marijuana card holder, I can carry a gun and the state's not going to take it away from me, and they're not going to deny me being able to get a gun. You know, I mean, there are things that we can do without compromising our principles. So I just, you know, all you libertarians, anyone listening out there, don't be afraid to compromise with people in order to get a liberty movement forwarded. Just don't compromise your principles. You can do both. I do both on a daily basis. and if someone as goofy as me can do it, I know anyone can. I have faith in our party. I have faith in our people.
Who was your preference for the presidential nominee for the Libertarian Party?
Who was my preference?
Who was your preference? Yeah.
I actually supported Vermin Supreme and Spike Cohen.
Yeah.
But Joe Jorgensen was my second pick on a very, I mean, like 50-50. It was so hard. Probably the hardest presidential decision I've ever made, because I really love Vermin. And honestly, when Tiger King first came out, the Libertarian presidential candidates had a huge opportunity to reach out to me and get an endorsement right then and there, because I was getting hundreds of thousands of views when it first came out on my pages, and they would have got huge exposure. And the only people that were smart enough to do it were Vermin Supreme's campaign. So therefore, they were the smartest. So I mean, obviously, we can, I respect that, and they were persistent. They really wanted my endorsement. I love Spike Cohen. I'm so happy with having Spike Cohen as our vice presidential nominee. So stoked. I actually have his personal cell phone number. He was kind enough to give to me, and we communicate. I'm hoping to campaign with him on the road.
Yeah, man. That's gonna be great.
Yeah, we just had him on the last episode.
Yeah, I'm so thrilled about Joe. I think this is I haven't been this thrilled about a presidential ticket in so long, because I'm a fan of balance, and I think Joe kind of comes from more of the pragmatist wing of the party. Would you all kind of agree with that?
Yeah, they endorsed her, I believe.
And Spike is kind of more of the anarchist side of the party. So we have balance.
Right.
I'm a big Star Wars fan.
A balance in the Force.
Sorry, like I'm a geek, but
yes. We're gonna talk Star Wars.
Nice, dude.
All right, I'm gonna get out of here then.
Dude, too bad Phil's not here, man. He's a Star Wars nerd too.
Dude, Phil would be pretty erect right now.
Phil would be like half chubbed right now, at least.
Yeah.
So I believe in balance, and because Star Wars taught me that. I know it's funny that Star Wars of all things taught me a life lesson, but I loved it as a kid, and it always taught balance to the Force. And I've taken that into a life view. I believe that balance is good. I don't believe, for instance, like the Supreme Court should be all Republicans or all Democrats. I don't believe it should be Democrats or Republicans at all. It should be strictly constitutionalists or, actual what they're supposed to be. But if we must, which we must
independent arbiters,
we should have balance. I want balance. I don't want one side, even if it's my side. I don't want one side controlling anything. I want balance in everything. In mine and Jackie's relationship, just in the types of weed I smoke, and the switching from indica to sativa. Balance is just something that I'm just really obsessed with. I just got real geeky there, and I hope I didn't lose on that. But that's where I come from on that. And why I'm so like that. Getting back to the reason I even got on that soapbox. That's why I'm so excited about the Jorgensen Cohen ticket. It's because it's like the definition of balance, and I love it. I'm so excited to do anything I can to help.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Campaign.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Cool.
Yeah, and I'm pretty stoked, because the Mises caucus, we back Spike, and it's just like you said, Josh. It's like the best ticket. I think it's really what we need right now.
Yeah.
So I mean, on all fronts. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked. As a delegate, Jared was a delegate. We were both Mises caucus, but we're like, this ticket's awesome, and that's pretty much how I think everybody in the party here in Maryland is pretty much really pleased with this ticket. And I think you're going to see a lot of grassroots activism come out of this.
Yeah. It's I believe so too, and I just like I said, I'm just so thrilled. I'm excited to see what comes.
Were you a delegate at the convention?
I was not, because like I said, I had that 1 month lapse.
Oh yeah.
Oh, right.
And even though I, filed the paperwork and I am a libertarian again, due to election year, my official party status doesn't change until August. But I am me and my husband both. We're both dues paying members of the Libertarian Committee, though. So we're trying to see if we can get seated as delegates or at least alternates. Because I've got a buddy who has a place in Orlando that he said we could stay at. So really all we got to do is either crowdfund enough to get us a couple plane tickets. And I think, my libertarian family, our libertarian family would help me with rides. And like I said, I've already got housing planned. So we're hoping to make it, long as I can make it on as a alternate for whatever state. Obviously I prefer Oklahoma, but any state I can get on as an alternate, but we'll see. I don't even know if it's possible. Maybe you guys have more insight than I do. But I definitely want to make it there.
Who do you favor as chair?
I last time I went for Josh Smith, and I got to the debate and I sat through the debate, because when I go to convention, I vote. I do not get up to piss or shit or anything, not even to smoke. I vote on every motion. I just hold it. I vote on every motion. I sit at my desk. I take notes. I mean, I love it. I love it. Love doing party business.
What?
I hate
What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
I like it too. It's fun.
I fucking love
it. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, oh wow, that's intense. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but
I can't imagine after sitting through this, just like these 3 days on Zoom.
Yeah, Alex was losing his shit, dude.
In the
Alex was
comfort
losing
of my
his goddamn
own
mind.
I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I was, even though I wasn't able to be a delegate, I did watch the whole thing, like the entire thing. I was actually on vacation in Houston because my grandmother had spine surgery. And I annoyed my family.
Oh wow, is she okay?
Yeah, she made a full recovery. Thank you for asking.
Oh, okay.
And it was concerning because she only has 25% lung capacity with COPD, and she's in her 80s, late 80s. So
you were worried with all this COVID too.
Yeah, that's why, even though we don't have a lot of money, we went ahead and spent it just in case the worst was to happen, and went down to Houston from Oklahoma, which only cost $20 to drive and gas, because gas is so cheap, and I've got a pretty my car is good on gas mileage, so it wasn't too bad. I actually kind of forgot where I was going with that.
So you're like, how?
No, but you were hold on. But he was gonna say you were gonna say something about Josh.
Oh, who you favored when you saw Josh in the debate at the last convention?
Oh
yeah, you said you were on board with him, and then something happened.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right.
Yeah. So let me get back to that. Yeah. The reason I was talking about my grandma is, like, I did watch all of convention. But yeah, about Josh. So I supported Josh from the beginning. Like, I've got pictures of me and Josh when he came to Oklahoma State Party Convention. Like, I supported him. I was going to support him. Got to the debate, and I was not impressed with his performance.
Yeah, he didn't. From what I heard, he did not do great at the debate.
No, and I need, and in order for me in good conscience to vote for someone to be the spokesperson of our party, I need them to be able to speak under pressure. And he unfortunately showed me he could not speak under pressure. So, as ashamed as I am to admit it, I had to vote for Nick.
How do you feel about Nick now?
I regret it.
Yeah.
No.
I was a fan of Nick early on, the past 2 years especially. Just like,
that seems to be the common thing.
I regretted it pretty quickly too. Yeah. Because like I said, my den mother, I don't know if she's watching, but my mentor or mentee, his mentor for females, y'all know Aaron Adams?
Aaron Adams? No.
Y'all don't? Oh, okay. Well,
no.
She's a region. She's our region alternate. And she's real big in the liberty movement for a while. But she's my libertarian den mother and my also my mentor. So she wanted me to support Josh, and she tried to open my eyes to what Nick was doing before, but I didn't listen, and I regret that. So I'm just gonna do if I am blessed enough to where someone can help us out with getting to Florida, then I'm gonna make my decision after I see the debate. But I think Josh probably has matured quite a bit since then. And I'd like to see how far he's come. I'm inclined to support him, support Josh Smith this time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
What about you guys? Just curious.
Yeah, I support Josh. He's a friend of the show, and we had him on a few weeks ago. And I mean, I haven't seen.
I've officially endorsed Josh Smith.
Yeah. Well, I'll go ahead.
I second that.
I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and say it now. I've looked at who else is running. I also will.
It doesn't matter who else is running.
No, but I mean,
I officially support Josh Smith. Nice. He's had time to grow, and my only issue was the speaking, and I know that he knew that. So, and I've seen his stuff since, of course. But I usually don't like to get nailed down on saying who I'm going to support because I'm afraid I'm not going to get an alternate seat. I'm still trying to get a seat, on top of being able to get to Florida. So, but I will say that. Yeah, I guess I will say y'all talked me into it. Yeah, that's going to be
awesome. You heard it here first.
And of all the LNC members, beside of the bigger LNC members, and anyone running for chair, Josh Smith was one of the first people, even a family, to reach out to me when Tiger King came out and express his sympathies and asked if there was anything he could do for me. So that meant so much to me. So anyone that's listening that's kind of on the fence about Josh Smith, about his character at least, he's a stand-up dude. You can have your disagreements with him politically, but I think it's time for new leadership. I think he's had time to grow. Like I said, I would have voted for him. I just felt that he had a bad debate performance, and I regretted the vote. Within a month after making the vote, and I wish I would have got him in there. Hopefully that doesn't exclude me from getting on as an alternate. But yeah.
Awesome, man.
Awesome.
So, Josh, I heard recently that you've said that you're going to AnarchCon this year in Virginia.
Yes, I am. I'm super excited. My husband's going too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, what can you tell our audience about AnarchCon? Did you know much about it?
I have no idea about it. Okay, so since I fired my agent, she was all salty about our separation. So I had all this stuff playing through my agent, and
forget about it.
The list. So now I'm trying to reconstruct and go through the 10,000 messages I have to try to find, make sure that I'm good, but I haven't had time to search because, like I said, I'm my own agent on top of, everything else I do. And, my husband is disabled. So, that's in itself sometimes a full-time job. But what, do y'all know much about it? I mean, I know it's a tent Liberty Festival.
Yeah. I actually went there in 2018 and I had a blast, dude.
Yeah.
I never have. I want to, cause, we're all here in Maryland. So it's right down the road. So this year for sure, because camping with this whole lockdown, people are going to want to get out and socialize. And I'm looking forward to meeting gathering of libertarians, because I was thinking Pork Fest, but that's I don't know, it's too much going on. And then with the potential of going to Orlando with the LP convention, but definitely going down to Virginia in August. That's that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking to go this year. Who's also said they're going to go is Spike Cohen.
Oh yeah, awesome. I love Spike. Spike is so great. I can't say more enough about Spike Cohen. That man is so intelligent. If there's anyone that can coax the true libertarian that exists in all people, it's Spike Cohen.
Yeah,
Should all
man.
get down
like,
there, do some podcasting down there, hang out.
Yeah,
Good times.
I don't
Shoot
know.
some guns.
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't know what
yeah.
that would entail, dude, doing a podcast like from there, but I mean, I'd be into looking into it.
Yeah. Or at least just all hanging out, shoot some guns, smoking some weed,
Yeah, man. I mean, dude,
camping,
like
campfire.
I went in
s'mores.
2018. I
Yeah.
loved it, dude.
I'm
I
sorry,
loved
guys.
it.
What's that?
I'm about to have to run.
Okay.
This phone call's coming that I was talking about earlier. But I have a few more minutes if y'all want to do some closing questions or.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, just
I just want to
guys.
I don't want to be rude and just like cut off all of a sudden, but
No, yeah, yeah. Dude.
I'm-
Oh,
all
no
good.
worries, man.
I never dreamed I'd be this busy of a man when this all happened. Trust me, this is just so crazy. Like,
I mean, how has
wild.
it been just in general from it? Has it been like a cool thing? Has it been, taxing? Has it been like, what's your overall?
At first it was miserable. And then it became cool. And now I've just learned that I need to own it. I have a unique platform. I'm one of the most famous libertarians in the world right now. And I think it's my responsibility to go out and do what I can to bring as many people to the movement. And so many people, I mean, I probably had 100,000 comments or messages saying, "We love you. You're the real deal. We trust you." So I think, since I have such a large following that, that trust me, I think I can bring a lot of people. So I hope we can get some like big time media appearances and stuff like that. And really that's my goal, is to use this Tiger King stuff to get, libertarianism out there.
Hell yeah,
Oh, yeah.
man.
Awesome.
That's a great way to use the platform for sure.
Yeah.
Radical.
Oh, and of course, I do want to mention that I also am strongly in opposition of the homicide that is allowed to be perpetrated by the police of this state and of this country. It's a shame. The founding fathers would start a revolution if they watched just 5 minutes of CNN and saw what's going on.
They would have been stacking bodies by now.
By God. So anyone out there that's watching,
Boogaloo time.
I'm going to a protest tomorrow. If there's a protest near you, get out there and make your fucking voices heard, because these cocksuckers are going to get away with it if we don't stand up to them.
Hey,
yeah,
Josh,
dude.
Josh,
yeah.
question. Have you been on any interesting Boogaloo side quest?
Say again?
Have you been on any interesting Boogaloo side quests?
What is that?
The big luau.
Boogaloo. Do they have Boogaloo talk down there in Oklahoma?
The Tupperware convention.
I'm not familiar with that.
See, that's the thing. You see, Oklahoma seems so nice. You got to be careful.
They don't have to worry about
the
the Boogaloo.
Yeah, they don't have to. Yeah.
Yeah, Boogaloo is basically this meme about just like a violent uprising against the government. Is essentially what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm more of a non-violent revolutionary, but
Yeah, I am too.
yeah.
Well, I would hope we all are if we're libertarians.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
right.
then again, our fucking
Yeah.
cops who we pay, who steal
Right.
our tax money to pay themselves, are murdering us. And you know what? I want to say this before I have to go, because I have to go real quick, and I'm so sorry I can't stay longer.
No problem, man.
You know what? I was bawling earlier. Right now it's black and brown people. What's next? Is it going to be the gays? Is it going to be the gun holders? Is it going to be the liberty activists? Is it going to be the pro First Amendment rights? If we allow this to start and we do not stop it right now, you will be next.
Yeah.
Do not put it past the federal government to lock people up in FEMA camps, especially with the president that we have. That's why this is important. That's why it's important, as hard as it is to watch these videos of these police murdering American citizens. We need to watch this because it's important that we as a generation are remembered as the people who put an end once and for all to the militarization of police and to police brutality. And that is, please, let's do something about it.
Hell yeah, dude.
Do something about it.
Fucking right.
Yes.
Hell yeah, man. Well, yeah. Well, we're gonna end it right here, man. Thanks a bunch for coming on.
Absolutely.
Hey, is there anything you want to plug before you leave?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Thanks for mentioning that. I totally forgot because I got so passionate. I am on Cameo. If y'all aren't familiar, it's an app. You can download it, and you can get various, famous people or semi-famous people. And for a price, you can have me send you a personalized video message. And I will say whatever you want. If you're running for office and you want an endorsement, as long as you're not like Donald Trump, I'll be glad to give endorsements. If you want me to tell, if you're about to quit and you want me to tell your boss fuck off, I'll do that. If you just want to hear fuck the feds or fuck you or fuck Carol Baskin or you know what? I'm a fucking libertarian. I'm gonna say whatever the fuck it takes to make the money. So look me up on Cameo. Look me up on Cameo. It's just search Joshua Dial, or optionally you can just search Tiger King on Cameo, and you'll see me. And I'm a capitalist, and I will do anything, and I love having fun with them. So give me a real fun one. But I do want to say, just to be serious, I know I was being a little silly. I also, what I do get joy out of it the most, besides the money, obviously, is that, like, I get a lot of folks who have young people, 13, 14-year-old boys who are just coming out of the closet and are nervous or scared. So if there's anyone that has any LGBT issues, and they need someone, to talk to, maybe someone that they can, get some advice from, I'm here for that too. And as a matter of fact, if I would even be willing to do that for free if you message me privately on Facebook, if you don't have the means to pay for a Cameo, because that's also, of course, my other near and dear cause. So, yep, hit me up on Cameo. Help me make some money. That way I can raise enough money to get to Florida, and that way Joshua fuck the feds Dial can grace his presence there.
Nice, man. We'd love to hang out. Yeah, we'd love to hang out in Orlando. Yeah,
Jared, dude.
Jared and me like to hang, man. Be cool.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys.
Sweet. Yeah, so we have t-shirts over at libertariancountry.com. If you type in the code PRL, you'll receive a 10% discount. If you spend $50 or more and you type in the code PRL2, you'll receive a 20% discount. We also have a Patreon page, so that's how we pay to keep the lights on down here in Anarchy Basement. So if you hit us up at patreon.com/punk rock libertarians, you'll gain access to our after hours programs. So yeah, visit us there. And also, this podcast is brought to you in part by Conversations About Freedom podcast, hosted by Moral Bob. Until next time, live free,